last dawn, the beginning of the doomed war. In a bygone era, when mountains were slumbering giants and rivers the veins of primordial beings, the world was divided into two powerful domains: the majestic Castle Kingdom and the enigmatic Tower Castle, nestled in verdant plains under the protection of Helios, the sun god, and Gaia, the earth goddess, was a realm where silver-armored knights fought for justice and stone castles rose as eternal vows of humanity. They believed in the strength of will, the resilience of spirit, and the eternal light of dawn. Conversely, Tower, a cluster of dark stone spires suspended amidst electromagnetic clouds in perpetual misty valleys, was the...
If there's light left, it's buried in the heart of the enemy.
The dominion of
Raise your
high sorcerer Arion
not to
and
see
powerful
the enemy,
archmages.
but to witness
They
your
worshipped
last
Arcane,
light.
the god of knowledge, and chaos, the goddess of disorder, believing that only magic and grand balance could maintain universal order. Mythical creatures like griffins guarded towers.
We march not for victory. We march so no...
Stand! March! Let them remember our names in blood and steel.
Skies, while ancient sphinxes watched over libraries of forbidden lore, beginning a kingdom in ruins, a final hope, the once glorious castle, kingdom bathed in Helios's light, was now but ashes. Mighty fortresses crumbled, watchtowers snapped like skeletal fingers against a gray sky. No more hymns to the sun god, only the wind whistling through broken walls and the groans of survivors. Monsters, grotesque abominations, born from Tartarus, the hellish realm where Hades, the god of death, sowed chaos along.
Advance!
Along with red-eyed undead, roamed freely, devouring all remaining life. Survivors with hollow eyes, heavy hearts, of the eternal
Forward!
Where Helios's symbol lay shattered. They awaited the end, when darkness would completely consume the world. The last prayer bells had fallen, silent. From the north, where icy mountains met stormy skies, rumors spread. Like a chilling wind, Tower, the symbol.
History won't remember survivors. Only those who walked into ruin with eyes open.
Of mystery and magical might was performing the forbidden ritual, a rite banned since creation. This ritual was said to restore magical balance, yet dark magic and ceaseless lightning shrouded Tower, forming a deadly mist. Castle believed Tower had betrayed them. They thought the archmages' forbidden magic had opened the gates of Tartarus, becoming the source of all calamity. They could not accept that those...
Whatever comes, let it come while I still stand.
Who worship knowledge could cause such destruction. Amidst the ruins of faith and hope, General Valerius, the last to hold. Castle's proud flame stood firm. He had lost everything, family, army, and hope for a bright future. Now he had nothing left to lose. He gathered the last knights, their souls hardened, but wills unyielding as steel. They sought no survival, no victory, only to ignite a tiny spark amidst the encroaching darkness, a light bright enough for the world to remember Castle's existence. Valerius stood silently among his dwindling forces, his gaze fixed on the horizon shrouded in dark magic. General Valerius' internal monologue. What they call hope is not for survivors. Hope is a torch for those willing to step into darkness, confront demons, and accept annihilation. If true light exists, it must lie within the enemy's heart, where all sins begin and end, As the soldiers assembled, their silver armor tarnished, their swords dulled, Valerius stepped forward. His eyes were still like frozen lakes, but his words carried the weight of mountains. General Valerius to his soldiers, voice deep and resolute. We do not march for victory, my brothers. We do not march for glory or survival. We march to never retreat. We march to let the world and the gods who abandoned us know that Castle still holds hearts of iron. Let history remember these last ones marched towards darkness. Unbowed, let us be the final dawn, even if it is the dawn of destruction. A low roar rose from the knights, not a cheer of triumph, but a solemn vow from those ready to sacrifice. The power of will, forged in despair, propelled Castle's last army towards Tower, where they believed truth and destruction awaited. Confrontation, the city of magic, guardians of chaos. The journey of the Castle Knights was a grueling ordeal. They traversed cursed, magic-ridden lands where creatures from Shadowfell Abyss, the domain of Nyx, the goddess of night, lurked. Wyverns shrieked overhead, ghouls gnawed at corpses, and invisible wraiths haunted their every step. Yet the will of Valerius and his remnants remained unshaken. Finally, an unbelievable sight emerged. Tower was no ordinary kingdom. It was a floating city, a marvel crafted from chaotic magic. Every stone shard and colossal watchtower hovered in the turbulent atmosphere. Ethereal blue-purple light from the pillars of Arcane, believed to be where Arcane, the god of knowledge, descended, illuminated Tower's perpetual night. Tower was vastly different from Castle. They cared not for Castle's war or collapse. Their sole objective was to maintain the universal magical balance symbolized by the pillars of Arcane. The archmages and high sorcerer, Arian, knew that if these pillars fell, all existence would be consumed by primordial chaos, an unseen entity imprisoned since creation by the creator god. They knew only one thing. They had to protect the ritual, no matter the cost. They knew Castle was coming, and that Castle misunderstood their motives, but they could not halt the ritual. A moment's hesitation could lead to eternal annihilation. Valerius stood at the precipice of the floating city, his eyes narrowed, gazing at the tallest central spire where the magic stone, core of forbidden magic, radiated its most potent energy. General Valerius, looking at the distant spire, voice resolute. Right or wrong no longer matters, as long as I can still wield my sword. Even if I must cleave that spire in two, I will, so the innocent souls of Castle may rest. As the Castle Knights advanced, Towers colossal, magic gates slowly opened, not in welcome, but in defiance. From within, Towers guardians emerged, colossal golems of stone and crystal, towering arcane titans, their bodies glowing with intricate runes and arcane beasts. Mythical creatures summoned from other dimensions with bizarre forms and elemental magical power. No quarter was given. Castle carried pain and resentment. Tower bore the responsibility of protecting the entire world. Valerius turned to his soldiers, their faces grimed with dirt and fear, but their eyes still burning with determination. General Valerius, commanding voice, deep but firm, lift your heads, not to see the enemy, but to see your final light, the light of sacrifice, the light of courage. Let our dawn end here, and a new chapter begin for the world. Charge for Castle, for the fallen, for our souls. With a resounding roar, the Castle army, though few but full of valor, charged into the uneven battle. The first clash had begun between steel and magic, between what remained of humanity and the creations of gods. War erupts, misunderstanding reaches its peak. Valerius's battle cry echoed, merging with the roars of magical creatures and the clang of metal. The castle army, though a mere remnant, charged into battle like starving tigers fueled by despair and resentment. The few silver-armored knights held their formation, their tattered castle banners fluttering amidst the magical storm, plunging into the magic spires as if to pierce Tower's eternal night. Tower retaliated with furious elemental magic. The archmages, their eyes blazing with energy, chanted incessantly. Gigantic rune circles spun in the air, summoning sky-rending lightning bolts, firestorms that incinerated everything, and ice shards that plunged like daggers onto the battlefield. The ground shattered, the air thick with the smell of sulfur and magical energy. Colossal golems swung their arms, crushing castle formations, arcane. Titans unleashed destructive energy. Blasts and arcane beasts roared, tearing apart any knight who dared approach. Each side believed itself righteous. Castle fought for humanity's survival, for the last light of a lost kingdom. They believed Tower was the source of chaos, the one who opened hell's gates and summoned monsters. They fought for justice, to protect what remained of the world bestowed by the Sun God and Earth Mother. They could not comprehend that Tower bore an even greater burden, maintaining the balance of the entire universe, even at ultimate cost. Meanwhile, Tower fought for cosmic balance, for the survival of all dimensions. The archmages knew that if the ritual was interrupted, primordial chaos would break free, consuming castle, tower, and all gods. They had no time for explanations,
to survive.
no opportunity for reconciliation. Their mission was to protect the magic stone and the ritual at all costs, even if it meant destroying those they bore no hatred for. Fresh blood, clashing metal, and elemental magic merged on the battlefield. Screams, growls, and explosions reverberated through the valley. Castle knights fell, but others pressed on, stepping over their comrades' bodies, their eyes unwavering. Valerius, with his legendary sword, Last Dawn in hand, cut relentlessly. Each swing carried the power of despair and an unyielding will. He ignored the magic exploding around him, seeing only the path to the magic stone where he believed all calamity would end. General Valerius, hacking and roaring amidst the chaos, voice hoarse but powerful. Do not die. Nameless. Let them remember Castle's name in this blood and iron. Let them know that even if this world falls, we will fight to our last breath. The fierce battle continued, a war with no true victor, only destruction and layers of misunderstanding. Both sides were victims of fate, thrust into a conflict no one truly desired. Climax, the truth revealed amidst the cacophony of battle. General Valerius, driven by a singular, burning purpose, cut a bloody path through the arcane beasts and towering golems. His legendary sword, Last Dawn, shimmered with a faint, desperate light, each strike a testament to his unwavering resolve. He was a whirlwind of steel and fury, his eyes fixed on the pulsating heart of Tower, the magic stone, core of forbidden magic. Around him, his last knights, inspired by his ferocity, fought with a suicidal bravery, creating fleeting openings for their leader. As Valerius finally breached the inner sanctum, guarded by the most ancient and powerful archmages, the battle outside seemed to fade into a distant hum. The air here vibrated with raw, untamed magical energy, so dense it felt tangible. Before him, the magic stone pulsed with an ominous dark light, a vortex of power that seemed to draw in all hope and despair. It was not a beautiful artifact, but a grotesque living entity, pulsating with the very essence of chaos. General Valerius, a guttural roar, his voice strained, "Break it! End it all. End this nightmare," with a final, desperate surge of strength. Valerius raised Last Dawn high above his head, the sword, imbued with the collective sorrow and hope of Castle, descended with the force of a falling star. The impact was cataclysmic. The ground beneath him fractured, cracks spreading like spiderwebs across the very fabric of reality. The sky above tower, already torn by magical storms, ripped open, further revealing a gaping maw of pure abyssal darkness. From this tear, shadowy, formless entities beyond comprehension began to pour out like a tide. These were the true manifestations of primordial chaos, the ancient evil that the tower had desperately tried to contain. All magic in tower ceased. The archmages, their faces pale with horror, dropped their staves. The golems froze, the arcane titans crumbled, and the wyverns fell from the sky. The castle knights, still fighting, outside paused, their eyes wide, with a dawning, terrifying realization. The sounds of battle died, replaced by an unnatural, chilling silence, broken only by the whispers of the encroaching shadows. Valerius, his sword still plunged into the shattered remnants of the magic stone, felt a cold dread seep into his very bones. His eyes, once filled with righteous fury, widened in abject horror. He slowly sank to his knees, the weight of a terrible truth crushing him. General Valerius, a whisper barely audible, filled with self-loathing. "Not demons, not them, it was I." I opened the gate. Conclusion. The fading light, the remaining castle soldiers stood frozen, watching the sky tear apart as nameless entities began to loom behind the storm of dark magic. Their enemy, tower, was no longer their enemy. The archmages, their faces etched with despair, slowly lowered their staves. They understood this was no longer a war between castle and tower. This was the end of everything. Valerius collapsed fully, his gaze fixed eastward, towards the rising sun, the last dawn he would ever witness. It was a dawn of absolute horror, not of salvation. General Valerius, a faint breath, his eyes closing, speaking as if concluding his very existence. We fought to save ourselves, but in truth, with my own hands, I just opened the gates of hell for all. The screen fades to black, leaving only the chilling final statement. They thought it was the end. It was only the beginning.